Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, yesterday in our news, there was this breaking news about the cargo flight that was heading to Nyala Airport, which was shot down in flames by the Sudan military after they had a clue about what was being transported in that cargo flight. The belief was that there was firearms and food that was being transported to a group which has been believed to be a militia group by the name RSF, a group that is being led by Hamdan Hamedi Dagalo. This is in Sudan. Hamdan was working with the current Sudan CDF after the removal of the president. But they differed in one way or another, and everyone moved his path. Kuna yule alibaki na wanajeshi, kuna yule alitoka nje na kikundi chake akaunda sasa kundi ambalo limeitwa ni haramu la kijeshi bado linapigana kwa hii nchi. Now, with this story, we are learning that 4 officers from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, were on board. Then there was one from Kenya and another one from Sudan itself. These are the people who were reportedly killed in an attack by the Sudan army on that flight. This Kenyan one was the pilot of this flight. And then it brings in now the discussion about the Kenyan interest and how they have been working under William Ruto to do with this issue of Sudan. Remember, Kenya has been accused of hosting Hamdan Hamedi Dagalo, the RSF troop leader in this country. Then you hear that the flight that was brought down in flames had a pilot from Kenya. Na hawa walikuwa wabeba vyakula na vifaa vya kivita kupelekea wale jamaa. What comes to your mind? Now, this was all shared here in the, it was in the newspaper, in the Standard newspaper, RSF's tragic mission. You can see clear, there is the image of the Kenyan pilot who was involved in this. There's the image of President William Ruto and Hamdan Hamedi Dagalo when he visited this country. The pilot from Kenya. And there's the information here. A Kenyan pilot was killed in an attack by the Sudan army at an airstrip controlled by the Rebel Rapid Support Forces, RSF, in northern Sudan. The pilot was reportedly on a covert mission supplying personal and military hardware to the RSF, a revelation that risks tarnishing Kenyan image for a nation celebrated for its role in mediating regional conflict and often doubled as island of peace. Unasikia vile wana describe Kenya, alafu kifika hapa ile mambo inafanywa chini ya uongozi wa Mheshimiwa William Ruto. The operation linked to senior government officials amount to an embarrassing on goal in a volatile conflict. This reminds me, and many Kenyans about the video where Ruto was receiving the RSF group leader Hamdan Hamed Dagalo in this country.
My good brother. Welcome to your other home. Thank you very much. Again, welcome to Nairobi. Thank you.
He's also very happy for that section.
Yes. So I'm very happy to receive you again in Nairobi. I know this is not your first time.
Gachagwa, in an interview, he told us how Hamdan Hamed Dagalo was invited to this country. Ruto himself, in his capacity as the president, he could not invite the RSF leader. But Gachagwa, since he was his deputy, in his capacity, he can invite this guy to this country. And Gachagwa explains how Ruto directed him to invite and receive Hamdan Hamed Dagalo to this country, then present him to William Ruto. Do you remember that story?
And watch our wildlife. We have rhino.
That's a very precious animal.
And we have wow.
There is a lot Gachagwa revealed or exposed in one of the interviews, mainly focusing on how this guy landed in this country and the meeting they had with one President William Ruto. It was more of commercial, personal interest, but not the good interest of this country. That is what came out of all this. Ya kwamba kile kitu kubwa kimefanya Mheshimiwa William Ruto kumuita huyu jamaa Hamdan. It was their own interest. He's interested in business there, and therefore there are also other forces maybe behind using or going through William Ruto to get that which they want from Sudan. Sasa yeye ndiye amekuwa mediator ya watu wa biashara kule, and that is what is going on. Gachagwa confessed this on camera. No one from this government has ever come out to challenge what Gachagwa told the public.
Allow rebels who have been slapped with international sanctions because of the genocide to meet in government facilities in Nairobi. You have heard Sudan now is threatening to stop our tea going to Sudan. And what is happening is that the president has put his personal and commercial interests ahead of the country's interests. That's the problem that they have. They are doing business with the RSF chief of gold that is being gotten from that area, brought to Nairobi and taken to Dubai.
And you can substantiate?
Yes, I can. I have one time. And, diplomatically, the president cannot invite Hamed here because he was vice president. And he asked me to invite him on his behalf. And he called me and said, sign this letter, invite Hamed here because I want to have a discussion.
When was this?
Sometime 2023.
Okay.
And I did invite Hamed and welcomed him and delivered him to the president. There was nothing about Kenya. They were just discussing business, about gold, about such other things.
You were in that meeting?
No, I introduced him and then I was told to leave because it had nothing to do with Kenya.
How do you know this then?
No, I'm saying if it had anything to do with Kenya, I would have sat through the meeting. But I'm the one who, after they were through, I'm the one who took him to the airport and I inquired and they are doing business. So it is putting Kenya in a very bad light. Very, very bad light. And President William Ruto must accept that he will not be president forever. He cannot destroy this country and the way we are perceived by other nations. He must be a nationalist. He must rise above personal and commercial interests and put the country first. That group has been flagged by the international community, and sanctions have been slapped against them for genocide and killing of children. But again, thinking about it, there's a saying that birds of the same feather flock together. They are killing children in Sudan, we are killing children here. So again, there's convergence. I think birds of the same feather flock together. But we are looking very bad. DRC, we have handled it very badly. And in fact, I am told many African presidents are unwilling to get involved in peace initiatives led by President William Ruto because he is conflicted in terms of personal and commercial interests that he has put above national interests.
Now, I want us to conclude this discussion, but I have a very quick request. For those who are watching this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to our discussion. Now, imagine President William Ruto was fronting Raila Odinga as the AUC chairman. Then, the character of the president and the war we are hearing here and there. Even South Sudan, that has really depended on Kenya in very many ways, rejected William Ruto, to intervene in the situation. Just look at that. Sasa mlikuwa mnatarajia huyu apige campaign ya Raila kushinda kura, but creating more conflict and risking this country, tarnishing the image and the name of the country called Kenya, a country that had been viewed as an island of peace in East Africa and even in part of this African continent. Just one person, due to personal interest, you risk the name of the country, you destroy our reputation. We are no longer that island of peace in the eyes of many nations that viewed us in that line. Just because of an individual on commercial interest, if what Gachagwa has told us is something to go by. Sasa huyu angesaidia aje waje ama kushinda Raila kushinda hiyo kura. Ameharibu uhusiano wake na nchi zingine, the total interference and all that. Now, the discussion about this issue is because a Kenyan pilot was involved in this, and by the way, alikufa. That is why we are bringing this discussion here. The involvement of Kenyan pilot in this issue of supplying firearms and food, that hardware material that was needed by this regime, this group. This is internal interference. So it raises so many questions about William Ruto, the Kenyan government, and the Kenyan people as far as Sudan issue is concerned. Are we safe? Is it the right thing to do? We'll be waiting to see the government of Kenya speaking on this issue. But really, it's not a good thing. These guys, even they were facilitated to have their meeting here at KICC. The one allied to Hamdan Hamid Dagalo, they had a meeting here in Nairobi, discussing about the issue of Sudan. Yale Mudavadi amesema ya kwamba hawahusiki mahali popote, lakini ukiangalia vile mambo yanaenda, kuna uwezekano watu, it can be very easy for anyone to conclude and say that there is direct involvement of Kenyan government in this. They have interest in this matter. And the person who carries this is none other than the head of state, President William